Hi there and welcome back to Station Road. Now surely today's video will be a quick video and not end up being 18 minutes long. Now as promised from the previous video, I would do this quick video on the Dapol Class 122. So I've currently got installed in here one of these chips here, a Zen 21 NTC6 function chip, which apparently fits the bill or fits the requirements for this Dapol 122, and it almost does, but the one thing I cannot seem to get going is the cabin lighting. So the directional lights work and the cab lights work, but the actual passenger cabin area, the lighting does not work, and it is supposed to be, according to the instructions for this Dapol 122, on function 3. So function 0 is directional lighting, function 1 is one cab, function 2 is another cab, and function 3 is the main coach lighting. So I'll bring the camera in a bit closer and I'll just go through the functions. Now the interesting thing is, when I initially bought the Class 122, I initially just tried it out on DC, on my DC test track, and all the lights worked, like everything worked as it should, based on a DC system. Including the main coach lighting. So I knew that there was nothing wrong with the actual interior lighting itself. So today's wee exercise really is to see if the Zen 21 is 99% compatible, and I have purchased a Dapol Imperium 21-pin NTC6 function decoder. So if this decoder doesn't work, then I'll be completely stumped, because this decoder is theoretically designed specifically for the Dapols anyway. So this should work. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just bring the camera closer, but we'll run through the current lighting setup with the Zen 21, and I'll show you that the main coach lighting doesn't work. So as you can see here, we've got the directional lighting, so that is in forward direction, reverse direction, and then we have the cab, and I think that's the other end, cab at this end, and then if I do number 3, that should be our coach lighting, and nothing happens. So once again, there's the cab, that works. You can just see at the other end the other one going, and then we have our directional lighting, which is on, off, and direction. Just move it forward a bit. Yeah, that's the cab. That's the other cab. So we'll now take the Zen 21 pin chip out, and we're going to pop in the Dapol chip, and let's hope, fingers crossed, gosh, there we go again, that the Dapol 21 pin resolves our coach lighting issue. These Dapol 122s, or there's also the 121, they're actually extremely easy to gain access to the chip. No screws whatsoever that are actually holding the body to the chassis, but a little bit tricky maybe unclipping it, but it's not too bad once you sort of get the hang of it, of being able to release the body. So we'll just do that now. So the easiest way I've found is just simply getting you can use a used up credit card to slide in there if you need to, but I simply just get the thumbnail into each side and work your way up towards one end, and then just lightly just put a little bit of downward, well in this case upward, to release from that end, and then as you work down one side you'll hear it unclip which you didn't really hear it, but that's it. It's that easy to get off. Now, as you can see in here, here's our coach lighting. So it's not to say that I'm going, why is the coach lighting not working, and discover that there's no coach lighting in it, but there is. Now, one of the other things you do have to be sure about as well is that there are a series of switches in this particular model which are more designed for DC operation, and the discreetly hidden in the side of the chassis, there's a switch there, another one there, and these operate on and off for directional and cab lighting on a DC system. So the one that has two on the side is, one is cab and one is directional, and on this side here, the single switch on this side, that controls the coach light, and according to the instructions, left is off, right is on. So all of these switches are in the on position. As you'll see, actually, probably for those who may already have one of these, and I know that they are very popular, I've added some people into my DMU just to give it a little bit of interest. So now the chip is nicely hidden in its own little cover with DCC written on it, and it's just a simple case of pulling the cover off, and there's a chip hidden in there. So we'll get this Zen chip out and we'll put in the Dapol chip and see what happens. That's the wee Zen chip there. I'll of course keep that, and I'm sure it will be useful in another locomotive. We've got the, I think that's for speakers, possibly, or Stay Alive, one or the other. And it's got the 21 socket. It's actually also got this edge connector, which you can plug in an 8-pin harness. So it's actually, it's quite good in that sense. It's really versatile, the Zen chips. So we'll get this out. And here's the Dapol chip. Gosh, it's tiny, isn't it? Actually, the Dapol ones they certainly make them quite compact. So there we are, very small. So we'll pop that in. And it's as simple as that, popping the cover back on. It's just lining it up, and you know, it doesn't even really need to be firmly pushed into place, but yeah, it just simply clicks into place. One of the things that you may or may not have noticed on this particular one, I don't know when you can see that, I've added in a destination board and some numbers actually, because, and I don't know whether this was like when I got this, it didn't actually come with any transfers for the number codes or the destination board. I'm not sure whether that was a slip up or whether this particular model they don't include that. It did come with a detail pack with lots of brake hoses and all sorts of other bits and pieces, but there was no transfers in there for the head code board and the destination board. So I've actually made that up. I just printed that out on a laser printer and popped it in there, because otherwise you just got the sort of kind of blaring light shining through. Anyway, we'll pop this on the track and let's see if the coach lighting is now operational. So first of all, we'll just make sure it's all running. So we'll just give it a, right, yep, that's good. We have power for a start. That's always a good sign. Right, so we've got the directional lighting. That seems to be working. And if we go cab 1, that's down at the other end there. Cab 2 at that end. And the moment of truth, let's see if we get some coach lighting in here. Hooray! Yes, we do. Brilliant. Right, okay. So that is interesting. So the Zen 21 seems to obviously have an issue with function 3 with the coach lighting. Now, possibly, and it would be interesting to hear from anyone who's maybe encountered a similar issue with their class 121, 122, if they've used a chip other than a Daypol chip and have had issues with any lighting issues, whether it be the coach or cab or directional lighting, whether they've managed to resolve it. Maybe it might have been something within that could be adjusted within the CV settings. I'm not too sure, but anyway, we know now at least that a Daypol 21 pin MTC 6 function decoder is going to work in a Daypol 121/122 class DMU. So that's brilliant. Now onto another wee quick topic. As you will know, I mentioned in the previous video that I'd just gone over 1,000 subscribers, and I sort of thought, and I know a number of other people have done this as well, I thought it might be quite nice to do a wee competition of sorts. Now, the problem is I haven't actually figured anything out yet. So there will be some form of model goodies offering, and a particular sort of competition method which I've yet to nut out, but I just thought I'd put that in the mix and let you all know that I am planning something in terms of a competition, and I will keep you updated, and hopefully within a couple of weeks I'll be able to put together this week competition for Station Road. So anyway, I'll sign off now, and once again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers, and please, for those who haven't subscribe, and don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.